For today's task, I've got 42 sheets of siding, which each one of these is 4 inches and a sheet is 8 inches. And the shortest they came in was 12 feet long, so it wasn't easy to haul back in my truck. But those are the loose ones, and then I got a box of 24 right there. So I got those at the hardware store yesterday. What I got to do now, I also have these 4 corners. These are the corner pieces that need to go up first in each of the 4 corners, and then I cut the siding to fit in between the corners. So today I'm working on hanging all these 4 corner pieces first, and then measure in between and start siding. With siding, you start from the bottom up. What I want to do is have it end. This side's not a good example because this plastic comes down a ways, but I want the siding to end. Here you see the pond liner comes down about 4 or 5 inches. I want the siding to end above the black liner but below the top of the shed. So I measured from the bottom here up to there. I want it to be 104 inches. So in order to do that, I got to start this lower piece of siding below this, but I can't go lower than the bricks. So you're supposed to start from the bottom, get the bottom one level, and then hang everyone above it, and it's supposed to work itself out on the top, but I may have to trim the top pieces some. But I did do some YouTube searching on how to do siding. I've never done it before. I got a bunch of 1.5 inch galvanized roofing nails. That is what's needed for the siding. So I'm going to go ahead, first things first, hang these 4 corner pieces, and then I'm going to pick a side, probably one with the shorter top. Start screwing everything up, or nailing everything up, and see how it fits. Hopefully I don't have to undo everything, but that is the plan. Alright, I have nailed on 2 of the corner trim pieces, and this is all prefabricated stuff. The trim is supposed to fit in here, so my next step is to measure inside the groove on both of these and cut down 13 pieces to this size right here. I'm just going to start on the back and work my way to the top, see how that works, and if it works good, do the same thing on this side, the other side, and the front. So that's my next step, is to trim down some siding. Alright, I measured in between the 2 corner posts, and it's just under 8 feet at 95 inches. 8 feet is 96 inches. So I measured it and marked it here, but I have 13 pieces of siding, because this is all 13 should get me from the bottom to the top, and I want them all the exact same length. So I'll put this over here to kind of keep things level. The rest is on this table. I lined them all up and then used this rubber mallet to get the ends very flush. So they should all be the same length. My squares don't reach far enough, and it's really hard to draw a square from one side to the other. But my biggest concern now is that how am I going to cut all these at one time? I brought out my Sawzall, which has the metal / plastic blade on it, so this should work. It's almost deep enough. I would rather use the circular blade, but the only blade that I have for here is a wood ripping blade, which I think is just going to tear into this plastic too much if I use this. Ideally, I should have a blade for this that is meant for cutting plastic, and that would probably do the trick. But I could try my Sawzall. It's not going to be nearly as straight. Well, I looked and looked in the shed up there because I thought I had an extra blade that was finer tooth, but I could not find it. So I just may have to go into town. Sun's already setting. It's getting lower. I might have to work in the night tonight, but yeah, I think just in order to do it right, because this isn't going to be my first cut, this is just for one wall, I'm going to have to do this multiple times over, so I better just take this blade off, go into town, and get one that's the right tooth size for cutting plastic. So I'm going to go do that now, I guess. Alright, the first sheet of vinyl siding is down, and that's what I'll be snapping all the others into going up. If it was easy, I would do a chalk line where all my 2x4s are, but it's too tall, I can't really do that very well, so that's why you see me looking at the tarp here. I'm finding where the screw holes are, because that's where the 2x4s are. So I'm trying to get as many nails into the 2x4s as possible, but some of them I got to space out, and they can't get it right on a 2x4. But first one's done. Now to put 12 more of those up. ones on the ladder are not easy. I gotta go get some sort of apron or tool belt to hold my screws and hammer. So, and then I think I gotta set up a second ladder because I can't stand on that every time for every side. So, I'm gonna go work on that now. Well, I couldn't find my tool belt, so I just had to work with what I had. Going up on top to reach down for some of the screws. I reached as many as I could from here, but I got all the siding done. I still need to put a piece of trim on that top piece of siding, but I'm going to do all those once all the other siding is up, and I'll have to trim these corner pieces that stick up. So my next task, I got this corner piece on because of that side. I need to put a corner piece on over here, measure it, cut 13 pieces, and do the same thing on this side. So I'll be working on that. All right, I have 3 sides all sided up to the top. I still have this 4th side to work on. I'm going to have to cut down pieces. The siding comes in 12-foot pieces, so I'm only using 8 feet, so that should leave me 4 feet here. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, yeah. So each side takes 13 panels to go from bottom to top. I don't know what I did wrong in my math, but instead of ordering 3 times 13, which is 39, I had 38, which is what I ordered and what I picked. So if you see up here, I've got a nice little seam on this panel here. But they make it pretty easy to do, so I'm just going to show you how you do a seam when your panels aren't quite long enough. These are the short extra pieces that are left over from cutting the 8-foot sections. I took this whole pile here. There's 13 of these, which is what I need for that last side. But they're all still a little longer because these weren't 12 feet, they were 12 feet 6 inches. So it's a really weird number, but I got to cut off about 4 inches on all 13 of these. But for overlapping siding, what I did was I just took 2 pieces that are longer than 8 feet, and then I went and snapped one into place, and the way it overlaps is each one clips into the one below it, but here each one is built where you have like a 1.5 to 2 inch spot that doesn't have the nail down board, and if you look at the bottom where it actually clips in, that's also cut short. So what you do is you cut this piece right where you need it and hang this one first, and then it overlaps just like this. So there's like a 2 inch overlap. This one doesn't have the clip on the bottom, it's already cut out, but this one does have the clip, and it just clips into the piece right below it, or right above it. So it would clip in here, and they make it pretty easy. So the seam should be waterproof. I might have to put some silicone on it, but I've got a lot of siliconing to do once I do the trim on top. For the trim, I bought these 4 pieces of trim. They're supposed to be 2 inches, but I bet it's 1.5 inches. Everybody is shrinkflation. But looking at the back of it, this is engineered wood. It's supposed to be for siding trim, but this just looks like OSB board. I'm not sure I trust that getting wet. So, because all around the shed, I've got about 3 inches to the top, I'm thinking I've got some pressure treated 2x4. Maybe I'll just use that as my trim up there, and that will also give me extra wood to screw some handrails in here. But I haven't fully decided on that. I'm going to continue working on the siding here, and then once everything's done, I'll decide. But I'm definitely leaning towards the pressure treated 2x4s because I've got plenty of those. I bought some specifically for railing and the top roof that I didn't end up using on the outside. So I've got plenty of, this is all pressure treated 2x4, so I may just do that. But also, while I was in town at Walmart, I got the silicone, but I got the doorknob and deadbolt, so I'll be installing those today. Everything's done inside, so once I get this put on, I'll be able to close the door. It'll be insulated, the roof is done, siding is almost done, and then I'll just do a video with a tour on everything that was done for the 8x8 insulated shed. Well, I got the siding done on all 4 sides. I was able to just barely get this last piece of siding up before, well, it started to rain right before I got that last piece of siding up, but siding is now done. All that's left is to cut off the corner post to wherever I'm going to put the trim level. Put some trim and then silicone around the trim. But that is it for the siding. We just got some rain, which is nice, so it's a little damp out. I had to take a break and cover up all my wood and put a bunch of tools away, but siding is done.